For the session 1 in the class of multi-criteria optimization, we will discuss introduction to multi-criteria decision analysis. Okay, the content of these sessions will include general overview about multi-criteria decision analysis and decision problems, which means how what kind of mechanisms what kind of characteristics of the problems that needs to be addressed using MCDA, and then a list of several methods that belongs to MCDA methods, and then a list of software that is available for solving MCDA, and some in general guideline on the selection of MCDA methods. Okay, today's session will support the course outline 1, in which you will be expected to be able to analyze various multi-criteria decision-making analysis methods. Okay, first the general introduction. So the discussion about people making decisions, it's been there for a long time. Okay, and normally when people make decisions, they will consider several criteria or several attributes regarding to that decisions. Therefore, the multi-criteria decision methods is perhaps one of the most well-known branches in the knowledge of decision making. But although multi-criteria decision-making methods may be widely diverse, that they have several variants, many of them might have certain aspects in common. Okay, so we call these notions of alternatives, attributes, and then criteria, decision weights, and we will discuss about it next. Okay, first about alternative. Alternatives is usually represents different choices or different action available for the decision maker. It's like the what kind of alternative or what kind of option that we have for this decision that we need to make. Okay, and those alternatives will normally have an attributes or multiple attributes. Okay, so attributes itself is normally associated with the alternatives, in which attributes sometimes refer to a goal or decision criteria. It represent different dimensions. Okay, dimension of what? Dimension of the alternatives. For example, when you decide to buy a car, uh, perhaps you will select from several alternatives of car. Okay, one car may have what attributes of price. One car may be more cheaper, another car may be more expensive, and um, in another attributes, we have for the car perhaps the build quality. So the car that cheaper maybe have lower build quality and otherwise. Okay, so those are attributes. Normally, there will be conflicting among those criteria or attributes, since different criteria will represent different dimension of the alternatives, so they may conflict one to another. For example, if you produce a product, the cost of the products may have conflict with the profit that they generate. Like the cheaper product, it means that products that is produced in uh, more cost-wise cheaper, they normally will contribute less in the profit margin. Okay, and then there is the notion of incommensurable unit. What does it mean? It means that different criteria, those attributes that we discussed earlier, may have different units of measure. Yeah. So when they have different units of measure, it's sometimes difficult to compare one to another. And then the last one is the notion of decision weight, in which when you're selecting one a criteria or one attributes into another, where you are comparing, you will have the weight to see how important one attributes to another. Or it also often applied in the alternative. So you need to provide the decision weight for your alternative, in which to select which alternative is more important to another one. And normally weight are normalized and it can be added up into one. For simplification purpose, we can view multi-criteria decision making, a typical decision matrix in the form of 2x2 matrix, like as you can see in the picture. So it can be easily represented in a metric format, where matrix A is a m by n. So this is m by n here, going here, m by n matrix, and each of the content A here represent indicates the performance of alternative A here in the with the respect of decision criteria C here. Okay, so alternative A for criteria C, what is the value that you to indicate the performance of that one? So you put it here. That's how we use this decision metric A. Okay, and sometimes as mentioned earlier, we have the weight relative to the performance of the decision criteria. So we denote it as W. So W will be multiplied by the AII to see the how this weight affect the decision criteria value here. Okay, the performance here. Okay, our main reference book here, this one, number 1 and 2, categorize the decision problem into 4 typical decision problem, which are choice problem, sorting problem, ranking problem, and description problem. What are those? Okay, basically, if you can classify the problems that you are facing into one of these type of problems, so you are most likely will be able to use the multi-criteria decision making methods to help you to make decision for this. So first of all, choice problem. Choice problem have the goal to select one single best. Okay, among those alternatives, we want to select one single best options from several options in the group, and then in which that this can be used by a manager to, for example, selecting one right person for particular projects, something like that. So it's a choice problem, selecting one out of several alternatives. And then another problem is option problem, in which we are going to sort several given options in order into ordered and predefined groups, so-called category. Okay, so the aim is to group, sort sort or cluster into group the option with similar behavior for descriptive, organizational, and predictive reason. So when you're able to sort them, cluster them into several groups that have similar characteristics, it will be easier to provide descriptive analytics or predict the reasons why they can be clustered that way. And then another one is ranking problem, in which the options or the alternatives are ordered based on the best to the worst, okay, by means of scoring pairwise comparisons. Okay, so you compare this one and this one, which one is better, and then compare another one, which one is better, and then the best out of those comparisons will be put in order until to the worst alternatives that you have. And then the last one is description problem, in which the goal is to describe options and their consequences. So this is usually done in the first step of understanding the characteristic of the problems that you are facing. Okay. Now there is a lot of MCDA methods available in practice or in the literature. Here are several methods that you can choose. However, this figure will help you for each method. They will be suitable for which type of problem. Okay. For example, if you happen to want to analyze choice problems, you can pick among these algorithms or methods. Perhaps it may be have different approaches, but all of them can be used to analyze choice problem. However, for a description problem, it might be a little bit different. As you can see here, AHP is not suitable for exploring or analysis on the description type of problem. So this is not viable. Okay, so this is how do you read this table. After you choose the methods that you are going to explore the problems, and then you choose the methods, and then now what kind of tools is available out there that you can use. Okay, here is some just a small chunk of the available software for the multi-criteria decision making, especially here listed by the methods. It's just this list may not complete by itself, because the software being developed is always have their improvement. So perhaps this is just an initial list. If you are interested on working with this topic as your research, you need to explore more on the literature review. Okay. In order to select which MCDA methods is suitable with the problem that you are currently working on, another consideration is to consider several MCDA methods available. A decision maker may may have dilemma to select the appropriate decision tools, and often it's difficult to justify why I should use these approaches. So there are different ways on choosing which MCDA will suitable to solve your problems. And one way is to look the required informations. That is the data parameters, and then the modeling effort, and also the outcome, the granularity of the outcome. Okay, previously we already mapped all the available MCDA software or for each method. Now we will try to have a more in details discussion on how to select which MCDA methods is suitable for your problems. Now this will be separate into several type of problem. For example, this is for the ranking and choice method. So in order to use the MCDA as a ranking for your ranking problem and then choice problem, you can consider this one. The effort for input here is ordered from high to low. Okay. And then the output here, it will show you what kind of output is expected. For example, if you have AHP, it's perhaps in the middle because it will need ask you to provide a pairwise comparison in each ratio scale, and then the output will be a complete ranking with score of those alternatives. Okay, next is for the MCDA for sorting methods. Okay, MCDA for sorting methods, there is several choice you can use, like from it also being sorted from the high effort on the input and then until to the low effort on the input. So for example, here we have electric, UTADIS, and AHP and flow sort. We also have AHP for the sorting problems. But it also need you to do the same thing, which is doing pairwise comparisons. And then the result is the classification with the sorting of each alternative. Okay, I think that's all for the first weeks. This is enough to help you with the introductions. See you again in the next sessions. Thank you.